since your last drop that was in May, kind of what are some of the biggest things that have changed for you guys?
I guess the obvious one would be COVID. So that kind of like slowed things down a little bit, just because we kind of had to like refocus and recenter. And then also too, with the social injustice that was going on as well, we had like a time plan to like, do something new. But with that, we have to be sensitive of, what was going on. And also too, it's something that it affected us as well. You know what I mean? So we had to like kind of put that forward. So I would say that's one of the main things, but also on another note, one of the biggest things that happened for us too was that we grew. From the last time that we talked to you and everything like that, I feel like we both grew exponentially at the at the same rate as well. So pretty much the business grew, and our audience grew, and also just like a little bit of slowdown due to what was happening in the world at the time.
And I would say to kind of go off of what he said, we were like during COVID, we were able to use that to our advantage, and making everything better pretty much. This time around we wanted to do everything better with new tags. Our shirts are pretty much the same quality because last time we really liked the quality of it. But new tags, new bags, we reworking the website for this next drop. So we were able to use that time to make ourselves better as well as, take time to think about everything that's going around too.
Okay. So what was kind of like the biggest difference like you saw in like, I guess, processing creating this drop from the last one? So I'm sure it was a big difference considering like it was your first drop like ever, and then you're like going to, okay, you saw like really good success with your first one. So it's like, how do you say like, okay, we're going to do this better?
I'd probably say the biggest difference between, one of the biggest things that we noticed between the last drop and this drop was like where our heads were at and our headspace. Cause like how the last drop sold out in like 45 minutes, it kind of put you in that mindset like, oh man, we got to sell, we got to make another design that's, better than the last one, matching with the last one. But, at the core center of everything like that, like, we just went back to our core values and like what we believe in. Kevin will pitch the idea, Ricky will, build up on it, and then we'll all go ahead and just design it. And, we just really do what, feels best and, what flows from the heart. And then, we all three of us got to approve it. Both of them are tough judges, so it's tough getting anything past them. But yeah, so that's really like the main thing I would say. And then now it's just like a lot better because before, on our last job, that was our first time ever releasing something, ever dropping some clothes. So like we were learning about screen printing, we were learning about where to get our fabrics from, we were learning about everything like that, like all in once, all while trying to meet a deadline. But now like we have our feet set in the ground. So like, we know how to sample colors. We know how to, test different, designs out. We had like a lot more time. So I would say this design was a lot more developed than the last one.
Okay. Gotcha. So it's just like a lot more polished. Like you already knew kind of like how to go about certain things. So it's like, you're just kind of taking what you learned and the positives from that and just kind of like capitalizing on it for this drop.
Yes. Yeah. Just like that.
And also too, like finding new ways to kind of, not get an audience, but pushing ourselves as well. Like for this one, if you notice, like the first time we dropped, we had a video, but this one we had a video, but we try to turn it into like a mini film in a way. So kind of just really ourselves to just kind of be different, and not different like inorganically, but organic as far as like stuff that we do, because we all like films, and we also know like people like you said earlier off camera was. The videos are more digestible, so when people see like a short film, they get more engaged. So they like, what I mean. So it's a brand, but it also too is like it's a movement as well. So just try to implement that in there.
Gotcha. Okay, so like, just kind of like a question, because I know the first one kind of had, your brand's name is like All Things Good, and that's obviously like what you had on your first sweatshirt, but obviously that's also a message and like a phrase that you guys are standing by. So like, what is kind of like, how did you kind of settle on Lumière du Monde? That's how you say it, right?
Lumière du Monde.
Okay,
Yeah,
Lumière du Monde. Okay. So how did you kind of settle that? And then like, how do you like in the future, just kind of going with next drops, like, is it basically like each drop is going to have like a special message, right?
Yeah. So the thing that we try to do to differentiate ourselves from other brands is just have a meaning behind every single thing that we do. So like how you're saying, like how this one, Lumière du Monde, Kevin was the one that so basically Lumière du Monde means light of the world in French, whatever. And we're Haitian, so we speak French Creole and everything like that. So Kevin was the one that pitched that idea, and then there's a verse in the Bible that says that you are the light of the world. So it just essentially says that you shouldn't keep your light hidden. You're supposed to let that light shine for the whole world to see. So like going back to how we were talking about earlier with those core values, like that's something that like drives us and pushes us with purpose. So we feel like even if we didn't have a design, even if we didn't have all things go on the front, just by having that meaning, that purpose behind the shirt is kind of what will push it. And that's what we try to do behind every single drop. So it gives like the film a special meaning. It gives, just, the way we go about it is, just everything in general, just a special meaning for real.
One of those last like quotes from your guys' post is like a city on the hill cannot be hidden. So like what does that kind of mean to each of you?
Funny thing about that one, like he was saying earlier, how we took that idea pretty much from the Bible. It's funny you took that part because that's a full quote from the Bible. City on the hill cannot be hidden. That's Matthew 14 verse 5. And basically Matthew 5 verse 14. I ain't been in my Bible for a while. But basically what that means to us is like, everybody has that light within them, and with the light, you have the responsibility to shine that wherever you are, and with the city on the hill, this was where the design came from. And basically what that means is wherever you are, you can't be hidden. You have a light, you have the responsibility to shine that wherever you are, and to hide it would be a disservice to you and to the world, because, you're not doing things just for yourself. Everybody has a purpose. And without you doing your purpose, you're stopping somebody else from reaching their full potential as well. So basically, that's what the city on the hill means to me, and, other guys too.
I really like the positive messaging behind your guys' clothing, and just like especially in a time like this where there's so much negativity going on and all that. Like, I think people can remain positive, but to have that extra enforcement and almost feel like they're wearing that good message and like feeling comfortable with their clothing, I think that's really like a really special thing that you don't see a lot with just clothing. A lot of people are focusing on cool designs, which you guys have great designs, but also are providing like a great message with it, which I think is really, really cool. So kind of like what is kind of next for you guys? So like what are you like hoping to get? What are you hoping for your audience to kind of grasp with this drop? And then what are you kind of looking forward to working on kind of in the future?
I would say what we want them to grasp is just kind of like what we want to do is build like a core fan base who like, believes in what we're doing, and then pretty much just grow off of that. Because like with the first drop, it was pretty much organic. Like everybody who supported us, it wasn't like we reached out. It was just people who believed in the message and believed in us. And therefore they just, supported us. And that's kind of what we want to happen going forward as well with our growth. Just keep growing with people, and then just kind of relaying to our message, believing in the message, just moving forward with it, and also too just sharpening everything that we're doing. Just get better every time. Better videos, God willing, better garments, everything. Just continue to get bigger and continue to allow our message to our garments kind of speak for us and kind of speak for what we're doing. So that's kind of one of the main things.
And I would say to piggyback off that, just like the way how seriously they took like the level of production for the film, and our friends Anwar and Glenn, like how serious like we all were, just hands on and working on that film. Just the work that we put in to make it as high as quality as possible. We just try to, alongside our good message, just spread the message that that we're here to stay. That we're here, we're serious, we're taking what we're doing very seriously, and we're here for the long run. Just, for a little short amount of time. So
how did you actually like get that design on the back of the shirt? Was it one of you guys that created it? What happened with that?
So pretty much Vlad's like the creative behind everything. So Kevin's like the brains, Vlad like the creative, and then I just kind of like make sure everything is in focus. So we like to say like he's the brains, he's like the heart, and then I'm like the body. So we're all like one. You know what I mean? So Vlad, you can kind of talk about how you made the design and everything.
Oh yeah. So basically, with the design, we're sitting down in Photoshop or whatever, and then Kevin was the one that pitched the idea of, it was probably like probably like 1, 2 a.m. or whatever. And Kevin just got done studying. And then
another thing too, most of these designs and stuff like that, they all come at like 3, 4 in the morning. Every single one. Every one of them.
I know that's creative out for real. So yeah. But yeah, Kevin was just like on his phone or whatever, and then he was like City on the Hill. I thought he was playing. I'm like, man, go or whatever. So I just kept editing or whatever. He was like, no, just City on the Hill or whatever. So I'm like, all right, bet. So I was thinking about something. And then I went ahead and found like the literal representation of the City on the Hill. It's on the back of Kevin's shirt. Found the literal representation of City on the Hill. And then we just like kind of took that real image and tried to make it look like an oil pastel paint to kind of like just give it a high fashion look to it while not being too like copy straight straight off of off of a photo. And then we went ahead and had that, and then we probably had that on the back of a shirt for maybe I want to say a month, and then probably like a week or so later, we looked into the verse a little bit more, and then that's when the phrase Lumière du Monde came about, because it just looks better in French, and it just kind of resonates with us more with our Haitian heritage and everything like that, and just combine it all together, put the colors together, man. Ricky approved it, Kevin approved it, and then we just got it out for real.
I'm excited for the drop. I know definitely a lot of people that bought your first drop are hyped for it. So just kind of like if there's any shout outs or anything you want to say, just kind of like a final thought, like go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I definitely want to give a shout out to our 2 friends that helped us make the film, Anwar Sante and Tapri Collins. Without them, the film wouldn't be possible as well. And I don't know.
Well, first and foremost, God, I want to give a shout out to him because this is our first interview, and like literally, like this is stuff that we like talk about. You know what I mean? Like trying to be in interviews and stuff like that, and it's like it feels good to actually let it fulfill. And secondly, I want to give a shout out to Burbs ENT and yourself, Hunter, for even allowing us to be on your platform. We really appreciate it, and like it means a lot to us, and it's something that we'll never forget. And as we grow, I know you'll grow as well. So definitely shout out to you for that as well.
Almost forgot. We got to shout out Jovan Taylor too, because without Jovan, he killed the film. So without him, we really couldn't do it. So him, Glenn, and Omar for sure.
And all our friends that shout us out too. So all of our friends as well. So.
All our people, man. Everybody.
Shout out to everybody.
Everybody that supported, man, for real. But thank you, Hunter. We appreciate you, man.